Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609. I'm on my way back to Valley of Fires, BLM near Carrizozo, New Mexico, from Carrizozo, New Mexico. I went to Walmart, and I've said about that. What I want to talk about in this video is a lot of subscribers, viewers, etc., have asked a lot of questions about, finding a home base. How much does it cost? How much are lots in the area where I live in both places, and near Kingsland, Texas, and here in Capitan. And, a lot of questions related to finding a place of their own, obviously. Well, my philosophy on that is, if you give a man a fish, he's got food for one day. If you teach a man to fish, he's got food for the rest of his life. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some tips on how you can go fishing, so to speak. Let's just say that you want to find you a home base in a good climate. Well, you got to go to the good climate and be sure that's what you want. Find you a community in that area or property in that area that you think you might be interested in, and then start narrowing the search down. And how do you narrow the search down? Well, you can check with realtors. That's one way. Of course, you can check with Zillow and all these other online places that's probably better than the local realtors, actually. But on your own, you can go around in a community and see vacant lots that look like they haven't had anything on them in years, or even vacant land out in the country that they may have a water well, etc., on it, where somebody might have had a mobile home or an RV or whatever. And then you can find out who owns that land by going to the appraisal district for that county and give them directions. If you don't know the exact physical address, you can say, well, it's between point A and point B, and it's on the east side of the highway, and give them as good a directions as you can. If it's in town and it doesn't have a street address on the property, but there's 210 before and 214 after, you can tell them it's right in between there, and they'll help you find it. They will. They'll nail it down for you. And then what they can do, based on their records, they can tell you who is paying the property taxes on that piece of land. And once you know that, you got the person's name, and they'll give you the mailing address. There's no secret there, and you can contact them and say, either by mail, or if you can find a phone number somehow, do that. But most people have cell phones now, so finding a phone number is a lot more difficult. But with the person's name, you can narrow it down, and that's what I've done in both cases for both of my home bases. And then you have to be sure it's what you want. And what I did in both cases, I actually went there and stayed several hours on the lots and sat there and listened. And I'd go out in the evenings and during the day, and be sure that I wasn't getting into something that I didn't know about, because I didn't have a way to back when to use Google Earth and zoom up and look at it from up above and see what's around it, see if there's a hog farm or a chicken hatchery or something, downwind or upwind, or a feed lot or something that'll just drive you nuts. But yeah, you do all your homework like that, and then you're done. And as far as the price, don't worry about what I paid or anybody else paid, because that doesn't mean much. That means that's what I paid or they paid. What you're going to pay could be totally different, because in real estate, everything is based on location, location, location. And it varies one street to the next. So you could find a lot that may be in Carrizozo $75,000, or you may find one that's $10,000, I don't know, and everywhere in between. But and in any little community around, and then raw land. Of course, if you go out and you buy raw land with the idea of putting water and possibly getting electric at some point, or just going solar and totally off grid, that's your option. You can do that, and of course, I've done this a few times, so I'm aware that I was aware that when I got to lot in Capitan, that the electric was probably going to cost me a little bit, because that old pole and that old wiring, I was at a little bit of a feeling that it was going to have to be replaced, and sure enough, it will. Is that a big problem? Not really. It's just that you need to be prepared for it so that when you buy the property, you kind of get it at a discount so that you've got a little left over to pay for that. And then, of course, there's water available. But all that stuff, I'm just trying to give you a summary of how to do this search. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. And it doesn't hurt to even ask the neighbors. Just walk up, and if you see somebody outside and it's near a lot or a piece of property that you're interested in, just stop and say, hey, I'm interested in that piece of property over there. Do you know who owns it? You may find out that those people own it, and they're ready to sell it for a reasonable price. But if you don't ask, you're not going to get. So, and as far as me doing the homework, remember when there were some lots for sale near me, and I thought they were a little overpriced. I don't know what people paid for them, but all it did was somebody bought them, and it just tripled my taxes. That's all. Because they go by recent sales in your area. In other words, if a fool comes into your area, say you paid $5,000 for your lot 10 years ago, and some guy comes in there now that's got a lot of money, and he buys a lot next to you for $30,000. Well, guess what the appraisal district's going to do? They're going to raise your property taxes up to that level. Why? Because they can do it, and you can't do a thing about it. Nothing. You could go appeal it. It ain't going to do any good because they got you defeated. You can say, well, this, that, and the other, and they're going to say, well, look, here's the deal right here. This guy paid $30,000 right here. And so that's how much it's worth, and that's what we're going to tax you on. And so that's another thing you run up on, but that's life. That's the way life is. You just have to deal with it. So having said that, that's about all I wanted to say, and let y'all enjoy this beautiful drive coming down here from Ruidoso back to Carrizozo, because it is pretty. There's just the vastness of it all just appeals to me, and the beautiful mountains in the background. Even though they're kind of desert type mountains facing west, facing to the east, they're covered with forest, so you've got a little variety here, and I like that. And the climate's good in the summer. It's Carrizozo is probably the warmest of the three towns. Carrizozo would be the warmest. Next coolest would be Capitan, and then Ruidoso, which are going to be about the same. Because there's only 300 feet difference in elevation between the two towns. But so if you're looking for something, first you have to start. Don't worry about me finding you or helping you find a lot, because I'm not going to do it. I don't want to get involved. I got enough on my plate right now, and it's not that hard to do. Just pick an area that you think you'd like to live, check it out, and worst thing that could happen is you buy a piece of land and it turns out you don't like it. You're not going to lose any money on it. Unless you really got nailed, you'll have to check, because see, the appraisal district will tell you the appraised value of that property, and that's a good starting point. That means that the last few sales were right in that area, because that's how they arrive at the appraised value. So all you have to do, once you know the appraised value, is make an offer at that level. Just offer them, because most people, if they're selling a piece of property, they're going to say, well, I want at least the appraised value. So just offer them the appraised value, and then work from there. If they come back with a counter offer that's 5 times that, well, you counter offer and raise your offer maybe a 10%. You know what I mean? Keep staying low, because once you've gone up, you ain't coming down. I know you've heard about the art of the deal. Well, the art of the deal is start low and then stay there as long as you can. If it's something you really want, you may have to come up. But if it's just something you're speculating on, you can just let it go anytime. But having said that, guys, I'll end the video now. I'm coming close to Carrizozo, and looking forward to my lunch and a nice afternoon, because I'm going to be going back to town docking on Monday. We got a little cool front coming through. Temperature is going to drop about 8 to 10 degrees for the next several days. So I'll be comfortable over there without air conditioning, hopefully. And as soon as the last day of the month comes around, I'll have them hook up the water. And the reason I'm doing that now, I've mentioned before in other videos probably, is because I want to get it nailed down. Because if they change the city ordinance between now and next May, and I come back and they say, well, sorry, we can't do that now. You know, there was a city ordinance that was passed in December. We no longer do that. Well, if you're in, they don't come out and take it out. You're grandfathered. They grandfather all the existing hookups. And that's what I want to do. I want to get the existing hookup before they have a meeting and exclude me. So having said that, thumbs up, guys. Carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Carpe diem means seize the day. Bye-bye and means bye-bye. And if you think about it, though, use the links in the description of all my videos. It helps. If you choose to do it, fine. If you don't worry about it. What else? Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, take deep breaths, stand guard at the door of your mind. You know, enjoy your life and reduce the stress, keep your health, and, you know, hopefully, you know, you'll find something in life that you enjoy. Anyway, adios, amigos. Bye-bye.